Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, fredmccoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day.
Gizmo. Cotton Top. Holler
Here we
at
go. Cotton Top, come here. Where are you? There he is.
And Cotton Top is here with us today.
Yeah.
Guys, we're making a series of short videos on different things that we've been contacted about or been wanting to cover ourselves. Once again, just about everything that's out there that's going to be covered about the feud, we have done videos on. We've got probably 400 videos. So if you contact us wanting to know this or that, or it's probably been covered, we're not going to go back and try to find that video for you, but somewhere back through our videos, all the important stuff has been covered. All we're covering nowadays is new stuff that's coming out where people are printing or reprinting something. Mm-hmm. And we just cover the highlights of it. And that's what we're going to do here. This is going to be a short video. Okay. And I'm just going to go over a couple of things that people have printed or said on a Facebook page or in an interview or YouTube video or TikTok. We're just going to, this is probably like our Keeping It Real videos. We're just going to correct things. Okay. There was one post that said, by the end of the feud around 1892, both men, Devil Anse Hatfield and Randall McCoy, were sick to death of it. Robert Y. Spence, historian. Guys, I ain't got much faith in that word, historian. Historian and authors just don't seem to go together. I don't know why, especially when you're dealing with the Hatfield McCoy history. They just don't go together. It's just what side. I think that Robert Spence, I could be wrong, and like I said, I tell everybody, always correct us if we're wrong, but I think Robert Spence is also one of the authors that wrote a book jointly with Coleman C. Hatfield or something like that. I could be wrong. I'm not going to walk to the other side to look in the bookcase to see, but I believe he was also a Hatfield sympathizer. And you know, the reason he was is because who gave the interviews? Who talked to people? Devil Anse Hatfield. Why would you want to write anything good about Randall McCoy when he wouldn't even talk to you or give you a story for your book or your newspaper? You wouldn't. But this gentleman says, according to this quote, that by the end of 1892, both men, Devil Anse and Randall McCoy, were sick to death of it. 1892. What happened February 18th, 1890? Cotton Top was hung. Yeah. 1892, they're both sick of it, like they're just letting it go. The feud's over. Feud wasn't over. They had just quit going over into West Virginia trying to arrest Devil Anse and Cap and Elliot, Robert, all the ones that hadn't been arrested yet, because the Supreme Court had ruled you could no longer go across into another state and bring prisoners back. And remember, Governor Willis Wilson would not extradite Devil Anse Hatfield or his family to Kentucky. So this gentleman wrote that they were both sick to death of the feud. No, Devil Anse was sick to death of the feud because Devil Anse at that point was trying to steal more timber off people's property and make more money. Devil Anse was a money man. He wanted that money. He wanted that power. Randall McCoy was sick to death because lost half his damn family. They'd been killed. They'd been murdered. He was sick to death of losing family members. He was sick to death of being a prisoner of war. Post-traumatic stress syndrome before they even knew what it was. 2 years in the worst prison camp. Yeah, Randall McCoy was sick to death of no justice. And then when he got justice, they hung a mentally retarded fella in place of Cap. So yeah, Randall McCoy, I guess that you could say that he was sick to death too, but he wasn't sick to death because of the feud. He was sick to death of losing family members. You're going to hear another, I won't go into these other, we got papers left and right here we're going to go over, so I don't need double covering it. I know it's in one of these papers. I seen a comment. Okay. I'm just going to go through, I'm not going to go, out of all these things that's posted, there's only a little bit, 1 or 2 lines here and there that's yellowed in. That's what I want to go over. I'm not going to make a story out of it. I'm just going to go over the comment and explain something.
Okay.
You guys can follow up with research, or you can go back, especially when I talk about Altina Waller. We made several videos on Altina Waller and dissecting her book. In fact, myself and Sheila, Hatfield, a fella, wrote another book called Righting Wrongs, where we go through and pick out all the inaccuracies in this so-called historian's book. But anyway, this fellow's talking about Altina Waller. When she wrote her third book, Feud, Hatfields and McCoys and Social Change in Appalachia, 1860 to 1900s, historian. Altina Waller, I beg to differ on the historian part. Altina Waller thought the true story of the impact of modernization and industrialization of two families along the border of Kentucky and West Virginia would make a good film. Of course she did. Anybody. You know, we have no books for sale. We've been contacted about other people that possibly going to make a movie on that. We're not interested.
Right.
Sheila and I, we don't even have the museum open. None of the family does. We don't want to open it. They don't want to open it. It's not about money. It's about the history of the family and of the most famous feud of the land at the time and up to this point. But she thought it would make a good film. And she wants to say that it was social change in Appalachia. She didn't want to say that it was Civil War. Devil Anse deserted and ran and left Randall McCoy and my great-great-grandfather Uriah to fend for themselves, and they were taken POW. My great-great-grandfather Uriah McCoy was shot. He spent the next while in a hospital before he was transferred to the POW camp. I'm going to go on down here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. She says the coming of capitalism to Appalachia was what really precipitated all this violence and led to this feud. Wow, all of it was over capitalism. All of it was over the growth in the 1800s. Feud started over growth. It didn't start over Civil War. It didn't start over pigs being stolen. It didn't start over moonshine or love affair. It didn't start over homicides at an election ground and then homicides later on from that homicide. It was all about modernization, all about money. Wow, I guess Kentucky and West Virginia must be the only two states that was getting modernized back in them days. That's all she writes about. Hatfields and McCoys. New York, California. I thought the big thing back in those days was the gold rush out in California. Everybody, go west, young man. They didn't know it was right there in Kentucky and West Virginia where they were going to be booming. Old Devil Anse with his beard and his hat and his bibbed overalls and moonshine, his rifle and shotgun. No, just killing people, tying them to trees. About modernization. Yeah, if you believe that, you probably on the drinking the Hatfield, West Virginia Hatfield Kool-Aid. I hear you back there.
Okay.
I hear you.
Hint.
I pick up on them hints. The two families at the center of the story are those led by Anderson Devil Anse and Randolph McCoy, whose bloody feud in the late 19th century helped to create the hillbilly image of violent backwoodsmen, scratching out a living in the mountains. When did you ever see Randall McCoy in bibbed overalls with a big beard and a hat and a gun on each shoulder, or his whole family up on the porch with their gun, little kids holding their pistols? When did you ever see Randall McCoy like that, Altina? When did you ever see a picture of the McCoy family like that? The two families at the center helped create the hillbilly image. Violent backwoodsman. Who was the violent backwoodsman? When did Randall McCoy get violent? When did Randall McCoy burn people's cabins down? When did Randall McCoy tie people up to trees and shoot them? He didn't. You don't see Randall McCoy standing beside of a chair with a pistol in one hand and a shotgun in the other, with his bibbed overalls and his ammo pouch, and you don't see that. The father of the word hillbilly came from Devil Anse Hatfield himself. And he treasured that. He liked that. He loved looking at those newspapers or talking to book authors and getting that attention. That was his mentality. Goes back to show without, and I'm not implying nothing, I'm questioning.
Okay.
Does that resemble Cotton Top? Does that resemble Ellison Hatfield's mentality or mindset? What caused Ellison Hatfield's mentality or his mindset? What caused his mental issues? We know what caused it. Why is it to this day we still can't get any DNA related to Devil Anse Hatfield for these people that's doing this research on Devil Anse Hatfield's bloodline? Why is it? That might explain a lot of things about this hillbilly's, the father of the word hillbilly, of his mentality and his thinking. Remember, T.C. Crawford said he was a savage, barbaric. Let's move on down. The Feud Sites. The Feud Sites, its origin from divided loyalties during the Civil War or dispute over a pig. Well, we know there was at least 2 disputes over pigs. Both times the Hatfields stole McCoy pigs. Now, one time with Ellison Hatfield and 3 of his friends, we got the court records on it, 1867. So that's without a doubt the truth, no doubt. The other one was Preacher Anse Hatfield was the judge, justice of the peace.
Right.
There's no court records on that, and people say, well, there's no court records, you can't prove it. That's the way Sheila and I are. We tend to say that always. The only thing is, Sheila and I are Hatfields and McCoys, and we know that there was a pig trial, nothing to prove it. We say we know it, don't know it unless you got documentation.
Yeah.
But just from family folklore, family kids growing up, from one generation to another generation, we think there was. Guys, we're going to stop this video because she's flagged at me. These are going to be short ones. This is just something to fill today. We have some people that logs in daily. Some of them are older. They enjoy waking up and watching their video. So we're going to give you a video, informative video, and then we're going to move on to another one. So Sheila will do the closing on it. Thank you.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.